Let's start with mindset number one. Winners feel awesome about themselves. As I said in the previous segment, that absolutely does not mean that they're perfect in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't mean they're the most talented, the most skilled, the most beautiful. Means none of that. It means that they have found the one thing that they're excited about, the one thing that they've checked inside their heart and said, who am I? Who do I want to be? And they've said, no matter what, I will do this until I become successful at it. And they're willing to put in the time and effort to make it happen. So, mindset number one, let's talk about this also for another second here. Take the time and let me ask you this question. How do you feel about yourself? Now, this is a time for honesty. This isn't a time for you to try to impress this guy on the camera here. Okay? This is just you by yourself. Nobody's going to ask you for the answer to this question here. It's going to be solely you. However, it is so important that you just be honest with yourself. Many people go throughout their lives putting on these costumes, trying to pretend to be something they're not, just to put on a show to the outside world. And I've heard the old fake it till you make it thing. We'll talk about that at some other time as well. For this, though, you want to take this time here. Take this time to rate yourself. Rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being horrible, 10 being awesome. However, I'd like to put this little caveat in there. There is nothing wrong with being a 1. There's nothing right about being a 10. It's not a contest. So take just a moment, and I'll pause here, and find that number. And as soon as you get that number, rattle the camera. I'm kidding, of course. But I'll give you just a moment to go inside and ask yourself, where are you right now? Perfect. Way to go. And I want to tell you something here. If you were honest with yourself, guess what? You just did something that 95% of the people out there will not do. You are on your way to becoming successful. By being honest, again, it doesn't matter if you're at number 3, pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, now I know where I'm at. Because now you can make a plan to get where you want to go. Matter of fact, here's this little saying that I like to put out there. Before you begin any journey, you must first determine where you are. Then you can make a plan to get where you want to go. Okay? Think about it for a moment. Let's say I blindfolded you and I took you somewhere on planet Earth and I just dropped you off. I'm not going to tell you anything about where I'm taking you or nothing. I'm just going to take you somewhere on planet Earth and drop you off. What's the first thing that you would want to do? Find out where you are, right? However, the majority of people out there would say, I'm not asking anybody for anything. I see clues out there. I see the sun that sets over here in the west and rises in the east. I'm just going to go west until I figure out where I'm at. Well, guess what? Depending on where you are on the planet, that sun's going to be in a different position and not necessarily the exact direction that you're wanting to go. Okay? So the most effective way to keep you from just going all over the place and running in circles is to stop and say, where am I? Ask people in the area, what planet or what country am I in? Then you can go, okay, now I know where I'm at. Now let me figure out the easiest and quickest way to get home. But again, most people won't even take the time to do this simple thing. But the fact that you took the time to do this, congratulations. You're well on your way to getting the things that you want in life. That's why this mindset here is number 1. Winners feel awesome about themselves. Do you see now how it has to start with that? Otherwise, you're just all over the place. Now, let me put another little caveat in here. Sometimes you don't know what it is that you want, and you need to experiment with different things. Okay, when I first started my journey, guess what? I wanted to be a farmer because, as I told you, I grew up on a farm, all right? A farm in Alabama, 4,000 acres of soybeans. And I loved all that work. I mean, it was 18-hour days. I was very young, driving all this big equipment, and I had a blast. I thought it was great. I loved planting those crops and watching them grow and cultivating them and nursing them until we got to the harvest. It was just a great feeling of success. But then when I moved out west, I wasn't able to have that. It was taken away from me. And I tried everything I could to get back into farming, and I just couldn't find it. We couldn't figure it out. My father and I worked on it a little bit, tried to get some more land and do that. It just wasn't in the cards. However, I didn't throw in the towel. I said, okay, what's the next thing that I want to do? Well, that ended up being in the mental health industry. Now you think, okay, what do those two have to do with each other? But as I got into it and really grasped onto all the concept and worked on it and helped other people and saw how things can change, and I started having these awesome feelings to see that I could put my talents to use and do some good for other people, then I just had this great feeling of, man, I really found my niche. I found what it is that I wanted to do. But did it take me a little while to get there? Yes. And here's what's interesting. Compare the two. What does mental health services have to do with farming? Well, again, it wasn't the 18-hour days working on farming that I enjoyed. It was starting with that field every spring, seeing all those weeds there and going, okay, we're going to get rid of you so we can plant these awesome seeds, and we're going to take care of it and constantly fight you weeds throughout the summertime and watch our crops grow and do everything we can to have this abundant crop. And the reward at the end was seeing people or seeing that successful crop. Well, again, with people, is it not the same thing? They come to me with a challenge. They come to me with something that they don't know how to overcome. That's the weeds. And guess what? We take our time to get rid of those weeds and to cultivate the new feelings that they're having and to find that thing that they want to do and want to become. And then after nursing it for a little while and helping them get through the challenges and get to that end there and watching them succeed, same feeling. So it's not necessarily what we're doing. The career that we choose in many ways is just a means of us accomplishing what our true desires and feelings are inside. Again, some people will choose music for that. Other people will choose acting for that. Other people will do things in their communities that they can feel just as successful with. So again, congratulations, and I mean that. You've taken the time to be honest with yourself and see where you're at. Now it's time to make a plan for you to move forward.